follow Prophet Muhammad. That's why Allah said in chapter 7 verse 57 and 157, he said Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is written in Torah and Injil, which means Christians and Jews cannot until now cannot establish Torah and Injil. Otherwise they would follow and believe Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It doesn't say to follow and judge between you. Judge between you, the context is by judging you according to the Torah without corrupting, without twisting. You believe Prophet Muhammad and Quran, because Allah is affirming Prophet Muhammad was mentioned in the book of Torah and in Injil. In many verses in the Bible it says in Isaiah chapter 29 verse 10 and 11 verse 12, in chapter 28 and in chapter 29 verse 10 to 12, in chapter 28 verse 12 10 to 12 again in many verses it says the illiterate will be given a book and he will be asked to read, and he will say, I do not know how to read. In Sahih Bukhari, hadith number 3, chapter Revelation, when Prophet was asked to read, and Prophet said, I do not know how to read, when the angel Jibril came to him. And the Quran, I will talk about it the next round. You speak.
Allah is there to protect the Quran.
So
yes.
Yeah. So what I want you to understand is, Siraj just proved my point by claiming Surah 7 verse 157 claims that Muhammad is found in the Torah and the Gospel. That means that there must be a Torah and a Gospel that was in existence at the time of Muhammad, and therefore a Torah and a Gospel that exists today. Muslims, you cannot use the argument that there was no Torah and a Gospel. The reason why is because you heard the Prophet Siraj say himself. He mentioned Isaiah 42. He's talking about the unlettered prophets. He was talking about other verses in Deuteronomy, right? Which, by the way, I could disprove easily in an instant. But for now, I'm going to go to the point. The point is, right, any adverse mentions of the Bible prove my point that the Quran confirms a literal Torah and a literal Gospel that we have in possession today. That's why it says in Surah 7, 157, that you, O Prophet, are found in the Torah and the Gospel. It would make no sense for Allah to say to a people of his time, you are found in a corrupted book. Why would Muhammad say that? That wouldn't make any sense to any of the people.
It's not, I just explained to you, it's not the book, you have it now. Question mark.
I'm going to pause
question
my
mark.
time. I'm going to pause my time. So explain what you're going to say. Yeah?
Okay.
No, make your point. I'll pause my time so you can make your point. Yeah? And then I'll continue.
No, I'm saying the Torah and Injil, the one Allah is approving, Prophet Muhammad is mentioned there, and that book, all prophets and their followers, according to Islam, they were Muslims.
All right, thank you for that point. Yeah. Okay. So the other point I want to make is this: if Muslims believe that there was a Torah and a Gospel that was uncorrupted, they have to show historical proof for this. They can't just claim that the Quran says so. No, show me the original Torah and the original copy of the Gospel that is written at that time. If you cannot, then you forfeit that we Christians today have the original copies of the Torah and the Gospel. For example, we have the Sinaiticus, copies of the Torah and the Gospel that are written in the 3rd century. This is hundreds of years before your prophet even existed, Muslims. The Vinaiticus, written hundreds of years before your prophet even existed. The Vaticanus, written hundreds of years before your prophet existed. These are copies of the Gospel and Torah that we have hundreds of years before your prophet. So it seems to me that your prophet and his God were confirming a book that we already had in our possession, and that the Jews and the Christians of his day had in their possession. That's why Muhammad says, go to those who read the scripture before you.
Okay, now.
One minute.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Do you start?
Yeah. What the f? Sorry, man. Stop.
Okay. Now again, according to Islam, according to Quran, Allah clearly told us, Jews and Christians, their abode, they will dwell in hellfire. Therefore, the Torah, the one they have, and the Injil, the one they have, it's got nothing to do with Islam. They have some verses, some of them they don't have it. In the Bible, even it says in Jeremiah chapter 8 verse 8, it says, why do you say we have the words of God when your teachers corrupted and wrote the scriptures by their own hand? And Allah confirmed that in the Quran, chapter 3, verse 78. It says, the people of the book, they twisted and hid the truth. In many verses, Allah said, another verse, Allah said in chapter 2, verse 79, Allah said, woe to those who write the scriptures there by their hand. And they say this is from Allah, but it's not from Allah. It's a clear cut. The Jews and Christians, according to Islam, according to Quran, you using the Quran to prove your points, guess what? Allah is telling us your abode, if you die as a Christian now, your abode is hellfire. Chapter 5, verse 72 to 73, Allah said, do not say Jesus is God. Whoever say Jesus is God, Allah has forbidden, indeed Allah has forbidden that person to enter Jannah, heaven, and his abode is hellfire. And the other verse, Allah said, do not say Allah is the third of three, which is Trinity, Trinitarians. Clear cut, Christians and Jews, all of them non-Muslims will end up in hellfire. So you tell me, how can Jews and Christians be approved by Allah if they are going to hellfire? Double standard, doesn't make sense.
Right, so appealing to hellfire and other topics doesn't make sense, because your own prophet says in chapter 10 verse 97, right, or your own God says in chapter 10 verse 97, right, to Muhammad, right, that if you have any doubts, go to those who are reading the scripture for you. So why would Allah be appealing to people who were corrupting their scriptures and asking Muhammad to go to them for information? That makes no logical sense. Right? In regards to the passages,
ignore him.
I'm being interrupted, so I'll pause my time.
Ignore him. Let him speak.
Are we going to continue now?
No, yeah, because I was telling him ignore him, the brother. You can talk.
In regards to Siraj arguments about the Quran saying that there is hellfire, that only poses a contradiction. That only poses that there's a contradiction in your scriptures, meaning that Allah is saying in verses like chapter 3 verse 55 that I will make those follow Jesus utmost, in chapter 5 verse 68 that you have nothing to stand upon unless you follow the Torah and the Gospel, in chapter 5 verse 3 that He gave them the Torah and the Gospel. That only poses, Muslims, that your God contradicts himself, because he says in the one hand that Jews and Christians go to hell and that the worst of preachers in Surah 98:6, but on the other hand he says that those who do not follow the Torah and the Gospel.
Ignore him, please.
I'm being interrupted.
You're interrupting, please. Ignore him. I want him to speak.
Okay. So I'm going to continue.
Yeah.
Brother.
Ignore him. Because you're giving him attention. Come on, let him speak.
So now I'm playing here, right? They claim that hellfire somehow debunks my point. It doesn't. You still have the problem of Surah 7, 157. Why is Siraj not answering this? Why does the Quran claim that Muhammad is found in the scriptures if they were not in existence, Muslims? If we do not have the scriptures and they're corrupted, why is Allah, who knows all things and sees all things, claiming that, oh, Muhammad, you're found in these books? If they don't exist, then we should have that right to it. It should be corrupted itself. In regards to Jeremiah 8:8, right, I'm just going to finish on Jeremiah 8:8. Right? Jeremiah 8:8. If Jeremiah 8:8 is saying that the book is corrupted, then surely Jeremiah must be corrupted by some standard. No, Jeremiah 8:8 is talking about a group of scribes, just like Surah 2 verse 79 is claiming that a group of scribes corrupted the words with their mouths. Nobody corrupted the words of the books of the Torah, because the Quran actually says in chapter 18 that nobody can change the words of Allah. You're good.
Okay.
Abu Bakr said, you are my cousin.
What was the first point you said? I forgot.
Okay, so no, yeah.
What was the first point you
My
said?
first point, so I'll go on first.
Oh yeah. Oh, basically, okay. He said, if the Bible and Torah are corrupted, he's asking, why did Allah ask Muslims or Prophet Muhammad and Prophet Muhammad to go to the people of the book to confirm, if he is in doubt, to go to the people of the book and ask them about the revelation. So here's my answer. The context of that verse is chapter 10 verse 94 is not about the people, all the people of the book. Among the people of the book are Muslims. If you read that verse only and you do not read the rest of the verses of the Quran, indeed you are lost. Allah is telling us who are the people of the book. The people of the book, among them are Jews, among them are Christians, among them are Muslims. So that's what Allah said in Quran chapter 28 verse 52 to 54. among the people of the book, Allah said, الَّذِينَ آتَيْنَاهُمُ الْكِتَابَ. Those, we have given them the books. Yeah, we have given them the books. Allah said, they believe this Quran. And when it's recited upon them, they will say, we believe this Quran before Allah revealed the Quran. And Allah said, those people, the people of the book, before the Quran, before Prophet Muhammad believed in Torah and Injil without corrupting, without editing, without twisting. They were Muslims. According to Quran chapter 3, verse 14 and verse 55, Allah is telling us the followers of Jesus were Muslims. If you are to use Quran, then that means the Quran is affirming, Allah is affirming the followers of Jesus, the disciples, all were Muslims. So your case, your point, which is Christians, there's nothing Christians. The disciples of Jesus were not Christians, were Muslims. That's what Allah said from, if you can read even from chapter 3 verse 49 to 55 is affirming the disciples of Jesus were Muslims. The Torah Injil was written in the language of Jesus, and Jesus in the same those verses, Jesus was only sent to the children of Israel. But the book you have, you believe Jesus was sent to all nations, including Gentiles. Therefore, Gospels and Injil cannot be the same. What is the time?
No, you got 3 minutes.
How long left?
No, you got 3 minutes because I accidentally didn't press.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
now what's the other point he was making? There's no contradiction.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain.
Yeah. There's no contradiction here.
The contradiction.
Let me give you now, I'm giving you some verses where it says the Torah and Injil are corrupted, twisted and edited. That's all I'm going to conclude my point now.
That the Torah and the Gospel was edited or changed.
I'll give you. It says, I'll give you many verses. I'll give you many verses.
Right, does not claim anywhere that the books that we have in our possession say corrupted. It says that they twist the words to their own destruction, or twist the words. Woe to those who twist the words. Right?
No, it doesn't say twist. Go read, please.
Well,
it says woe to those who write the book, not twist.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Because
no, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter.
Says,
no,
in Surah 8, are you going to
Can I ask you? Okay, you finish. Okay.
So the Quran says in Surah 18 that nobody can change the words of Allah. So now we have another contradiction, Muslims. If no one can change the words of Allah, and Allah sent down the Torah and the Gospel, that genuinely means that there must be a genuine Torah and the Gospel still in existence. Otherwise, Allah must be too weak to be able to communicate and to keep His words safe. Or we have another problem. Allah's a liar and your religion's made up, which I believe is the truth. So which one's Muslims? It's either.
Can I answer? I can answer that one.
You got an answer?
Yeah.
All right. We'll do bit by bit. I'll do
okay.
point by point.
Yeah, I know 2 points now you mentioned. You said the words of Allah cannot be changed. The context, I will explain to you the context of that verse.
That's fine.
Doesn't matter. Shall I explain that one? Shall I speak? Okay. He said basically he's quoting in chapter 6 in the Quran, chapter 6.
No, I was quoting chapter 8.
It's chapter 6. No, it's chapter 6, I know. Where it says the words of Allah cannot be changed.
I was quoting chapter 18.
No, I'm quoting. Yeah, even 18. Okay, doesn't matter. Even 18. Yeah, 18 it says that the same as well. So here I'm going to explain the context where Allah said no one can change His words. The context of that verse is chapter 6 basically, verse 115. Allah said no one can change His words. The context of that verse is the decree of Allah, which He told us in the Quran that no one can change them. If we go to chapter 48, verse 15, Allah is telling us, yuriduna an yubaddilu kalam Allah. They want to change the words of Allah, which is the decree of Allah. Do you know what Allah said in that verse? قُلْ لَن تَتَّبِعُونَ. Say, O Prophet Muhammad, do not come with us to the battle. كَذَلِكُمْ قَالَ اللَّهُ مِنْ قَبْلُ. This is what Allah said to us before the battle. So the context of that verse, no one can change the words of Allah. It's got nothing to do about the books.
Yes, it has.
No, I'm giving you the context. If you want, let me give you.
Siraj, what is
let me give you. I'm giving you. No, let me give you. No, let me give you. No, I'm giving you the context. The words of Allah here is not the books of Allah. Because Allah said even here in chapter 40. Let me give you. I'm coming to that point.
Is the Quran Allah's words?
The context, even the decree of Allah is the words of Allah.
One simple question. Is the Quran Allah's words?
Wait.
It's referring to Quran
Wait.
itself. That's what I'm saying. It's the Quran.
If you want the words of Allah, I'm giving you.
You're not answering.
Yes.
It's the Quran Allah's words.
I'm giving yes.
It is Allah's
Yes.
words. Right.
Okay.
So then that verse must be talking about Allah's
No,
words.
no, it must. I give you the verse in chapter 48. Open now. Chapter 48, verse 15. Allah said.
It says, those who lagged will
Yes.
say,
Listen.
when you are free to march and take booty in war.
Yes. Listen. Read.
Wait, in war. Yeah. Permit us to follow you.
Yes.
They
Listen.
wish to change Allah's decree.
Yes, Allah's decree. No, the word here is used is kalam Allah.
Yeah.
Same as the other verse. It says.
So hold on.
Let me explain to you.
Wait, hold on. Siraj,
explain.
Siraj's point is this, yeah?
Yeah.
If people wish to change Allah's words, then therefore the verse in chapter 6 or chapter 18 is not in fact talking about Allah's words, it's talking about
The decree of Allah.
The problem
that is going
that
to
the
happen
verse does
in
not
which
say
Allah
that.
tells us.
The verse says clearly Allah's words. Just because
Okay.
I wish to change Allah's words doesn't mean I can change Allah's words.
Can I speak?
Chapter 18
Okay,
says
you finish.
clearly that you cannot change Allah's words.
I just told you
Still
the
haven't
words.
shown that.
No, I just gave you the reference. So now let me come. If you want to talk about the words of Allah, which is Quran, no one can change it. Yes, no one can change it because Allah promised to look after the Quran.
Yes,
in chapter 15, verse 9, Allah said, indeed, we are the ones who revealed the Quran and no one can change the words of Allah. Yeah, it's here. What do you mean?
The 14, just read 14.
No, this is about the corruption. I told him about the corruption. I'll give him that verse. I'll come to that point. So now, if you want the verses of Allah, the words of Allah, which is the Quran, Allah talked about in chapter 2, verse 106. In chapter 17, chapter 16, verse 101. Allah told us about the words of Allah that He changes. That context is about the words of Allah, which is the Quran. Allah is telling us. Do you know the Quran has? Do you know the Quran? No, the context is not that. It's not. No, only according to you. Show me where it says.
Not according to me.
No. According to you,
if the verse
let's wait. He's talking about. No, wait, please, brother. Don't get involved, brother. Brother, wait. I'm telling you the verse. Chapter 6, verse 115. Go there. Surah An'am. Is where it says Allah la mubaddila li kalimati wa huwa as-sami'ul
no one can
alim.
change Allah's words, Muslims. This is still not being addressed.
Are you getting the point? You're making an accusation. You forcing the verse of the Quran, which
What it
is.
says. The verse itself says clearly no one can change Allah's words.
Okay, what's the context? What's the context then? What's the context? So you understanding? What's the context? What's the context?
The Quran says that no one can change
I
Allah's
just
words.
give you a verse where Quran Allah changes some
What you
verses.
did was
According to him, he's cancelled
What
some
he did was he
verses.
ran from chapter 18 to chapter 15 to prove his point.
I'm explaining. Brother, come debate with him. Come then. Brother, you come here.
You're going all over the
No, you come then.
with one chapter, one verse.
No, I'm explaining to him chapter 6, verse 115, where Allah said no one can change His words.
Yes, because
That word, the context is not about the
Allah's
Quran.
words, therefore no one can change Allah's words. Just like the Torah is Allah's
Yes.
words, just like the Injil is Allah's words. And also the chapter you brought up in chapter 15, right?
Now again,
You brought up chapter.
now I'm giving you chapter 48. No, I'm giving you chapter 48.
Brought up a verse in chapter 15, right?
No, chapter
that says
48.
That Allah will guide His words, correct? Does it say that?
No, that one is about the Quran.
No, it's not about the Quran. It's about the books.
No, it's
Yes,
about
it
the
is.
Quran.
So is the Injil
Allah is Injil. Allah never promised to look after the Injil and Torah.
So why
I can
does
give
it
you a
say
verse in the
Allah will
Quran.
not change His words?
I can give you the verse in the Quran. Allah will not change His words is the decree. But Quran even Allah changed
So
it.
what's the decree, Siraj?
Let me explain to you. Okay, let me explain to you. Okay, I'll make it easier for you.
No, you don't have to make
Okay,
anything easy.
yeah, I will make
Show me
it
from
clear
the
for
Quran,
you.
Yeah? Where is the decree? Where does it say that the decree is this and that?
The decree, the same verse now you quoted,
Yes.
Quran chapter 6, verse 115 or chapter 18, whatever, where Allah said no one can change His words.
Yes, His decree. What is the decree?
The
Do you know what
decree,
decree is?
yes, I know. The
Right, what's
decree is, example, Allah told in the Quran, told Prophet Muhammad,
Told in the Quran.
He said to the Prophet Muhammad,
Told in the Quran.
are you listening?
So Allah said in the Quran something,
Allah
and
said,
that's the decree.
let me
right?
finish, yes. No, let me finish. Decree is, no, I'm proving my point is,
You're proving my
the
point.
decree is what Allah has written down that is going to
No,
take
Allah's
place.
decree is anything He says.
No.
Yes, it has to be.
Okay, wait.
You know what
No,
a
I'm going
decree
to
is?
pray now. I'm going. Is it prayer time? Okay, I'm finishing this one. I'm concluding with this one. Okay, now let me tell you. The context.
Look. My point
Can I finish?
still stands.
Can I
Just
finish?
answer my question, unfortunately.
I'm just answering.
The verse, even if the verse says decree, if Allah's decree can't be changed, then the Quran itself can't be changed, then the words of Allah can't be changed, including the Torah and the Gospel. That's evident from the text.
You're not
He's
getting.
going to Surah 16
Decree
to prove a non-argument.
is decree the
You haven't shown in
Quran.
the
Do you know
Quran
what's
what
decree
the
first of
is.
all? What's decree? According to Quran, what's decree?
Well, what do you mean according to Quran?
What's decree? I'm answering, so you're not listening.
You're not answering.
I just told you. I said the decree is the future, anything that is going to take place, which will happen, and Allah told us in the Quran or Prophet ﷺ in the Hadith that will take place. Allah will not change.
Right, so let's
say example. Let me give you an example. Can I give you an example?
The Quran prophesied.
Let me give you an example. Can I give you an example?
Was the Quran revealed to Muhammad?
Yes.
So it was decreed to Muhammad, wasn't it?
All Muslims.
That was been revealed to Prophet Muhammad. That's the decree.
So it was a decree then, wasn't it?
Yes.
So the Quran is a decree then.
You're not getting that point. You're mixing up.
Was the Torah revealed?
He's not you're not getting the point.
bro. Was the Torah revealed to Israel, the children of Israel?
Do you know what decree I'm talking about? First of all, you didn't get what this
to the
is.
children of Israel, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So it was decreed.
Remember,
to
the
Israel,
author of Torah is Prophet and is Allah.
You're
But your author, the author of the but your authors of the Bible is not Allah.
No, we claim that it's
And it's not God. I give you that one. No, you claiming no verse.
Yes,
I give you many verses.
I already bought a verse.
Yeah, I give you many verses. You have many, 40 authors. You have 40 authors. Are you denying against your priest? Are you denying against your
You have
pastors?
Shia International.
Oh.
You have Yusuf Ali.
That does not mean the authors.
Yes, it does.
Give me this one. The author of the Quran, the one who is speaking in this Quran is Allah. According to Islam, the one who is speaking in Injil, according to Islam, the one who is speaking in Injil, the one who is speaking Torah is God. No, in Islam, I'm giving you. No, shall I give you a claim?
No, you're
I
making a claim.
said
It's
to
like
you.
me saying this book says
Did I not give
that
you?
it was written by
Chapter
Barney the
5.
dinosaur.
I just
therefore it was
gave you.
written by Barney
I
the
just
dinosaur.
gave you.
That is not a good argument. You have to show.
I just gave you chapter 5, verse 47, verse 45. I just gave 43. I mean,
You said to me.
I just gave you.
Bible.
What do you mean?
You're too everywhere, bro.
Yeah, answer now. He knows I told him all that. Chapter 42, verse 2, verse 2, all
My
that.
claim still stands.
Chapter
right? The Quran itself.
41, I mean, verse 2.
Historically, Siraj, we
Yeah.
have books dating from the 1st century. The Sinaitic.
I just answered that one. I just answered. I'm not coming to that
These
point.
are
So now,
yes, no,
one point I'm making.
Siraj,
Okay, I'm finishing with 1 point. Okay, go.
You're not going to talk about me.
Okay.
Just-
I'm just making 2 points, then I'm going to pray.
So before
Yeah, I'm going
that,
to pray.
I mean, you come on to pray if you want to.
No,
Yeah.
I'm going to pray.
But the fact is, 600 years before your prophet even existed, we have books in our possession, right?
Yeah.
Your claim was that the Quran says it was revealed from Allah.
Yes.
We don't deny that. We claimed in the Bible, as the Bible says, that all scriptures.
I just give you the verse.
Right?
No, Paul himself said, Luke 1:3, Luke said, I have decided to write an account.
Yes, but
he decided. No, he never mentioned. He never mentioned the inspired. He never mentioned. Paul himself said, I have no command. I give my own opinion. So if he gives his own opinion, that cannot be inspired by God. My opinion is not inspired by God.
Christians would not deny that we have a different idea of what Revelation is.
Different
You
ideas.
hear what I'm saying? You know
So
what I'm
he's
saying?
got different
You know what I'm
ideas.
saying? You know what I'm saying?
He's exposing himself now.
No, I'm not, because the Quran
He's exposing
says
himself.
it was a
He
revelation
said he has
from
different
God.
ideas.
That's
I'm
what
just
it
making
says.
1 point.
You hear what I'm saying?
Okay,
The
now let me
Quran
make
says
1
it was
point.
revelation from God, correct?
Do you know what I'm
Does it say
saying?
that?
Do
Does
you
it
know
say
what
that?
it says? Revelation from God.
Does it say it's revelation?
Do you know
from
what
God?
revelation
It
means?
says it was sent down.
Sent down.
Yes, sent
yes.
down. Yes.
Let me tell you. Let me explain to
You're
you.
assuming.
No, let me explain to you.
Hold on. You're assuming that means.
Okay, what's
you
your
thinking-
understanding? What's your understanding was sent by Allah?
The fact is,
What's your understanding? No, I'm asking, please. Do you know otherwise I have to teach?
No,
I have
do
to
you know what
explain it to
inspiration
you.
is? Do you know what inspiration is?
No. Do you know?
When you're inspired, when
Allah
to do
say-
something, you're guided to do it. Yes.
You're not telling me. You're not
Yes,
understanding
you're
my
not- you're not hearing
point.
what I'm saying. When you're
wait,
inspired to
brother.
do something, you're guided to do it.
Wait, let me explain
Muhammad
to you.
would have been guided by the angel Gabriel to give to receive the revelations of Allah. Just the same way the prophets and the apostles.
Can you time
were
because you're not
guided-
allowing me to speak? Because I need to talk about 2 points and then I'm
Well,
going.
they were guided to receive the revelations they had. This is not a contradiction of terms. The point still stands. Your God affirms the books we have in the 7th century
I just
Arabia.
explained that one.
In
Don't
7th
worry.
century
You're
Arabia,
just repeating yourself.
Muhammad said
I don't mind about
to
that.
the Torah, I believe in you and the one that sent you. You
I
haven't
just told
answered
you
any
context.
questions. You
What
haven't answered-
Torah is that?
What do you mean?
Okay,
what
is
Torah
it
is
the
that?
one you have
Can
question
you
mark?
show- can you
Critical
show me-
thinking.
Hold on.
Critical thinking. Allah.
Siraj, can you show me?
Let me give
the
you.
Torah.
Let me give you. Let me
Show me the
give
original
you.
Torah.
Okay, let
Can you
me
show me
tell
the
you
original
according to
Torah?
Quran. Allah clearly
Siraj,
told
can you
us.
show me the original Torah.
Listen, we don't have now. Allah never promised to look after Torah and Injil. Chapter 5.
why are you
let me give
saying
you.
there's a
Chapter
Torah?
5,
Why are you saying
verse
there's a original Torah if you
43 to
can't show me
48.
one?
Go to chapter 43 to
Why are you
chapter
saying there's
5,
an original
verse
Torah if you
43 to
can't show me
48.
one?
I'm not repeating that one. I already talked
If you
about that.
can't show me
Wait,
original
let me
one,
talk.
then there is
Now,
no original
you don't have the
Torah.
original. You have the
Muslims are
original
making up.
Bible.
What was the original book? You told me.
You have the original Bible. Allah told us the Injil was written in Jesus' language. The one you have is in Greek language.
mean, Jesus' language?
Jesus' language. Jesus'
Jesus'
language was not
Jesus spoke
Greek.
Greek, you know that?
No,
Yes, he did.
that's his
Yes,
language.
he did.
Is that his mother
Jesus
language?
spoke Greek.
No. Allah
Jesus spoke
said.
Greek. Jesus spoke
Where?
Hebrew.
Where in the Bible?
What do you mean where? There's a chat.
Where it says he knew fluently. No,
in
fluently.
Matthew 7,
Fluently.
What do you mean fluently?
Fluently.
So
Okay,
when you-
did Jesus
when you have
write?
a conversation
Okay,
with
wait.
someone, you're not
Did Jesus write? Okay, did Jesus write the
Siraj, you
Gospels?
need to listen
Who
to
wrote the
yourself.
Gospels?
You need
Okay,
to
who
listen
wrote
to
the
yourself.
Gospels?
You're hurting
No,
yourself
who
over
wrote the
here, yeah?
Gospels?
So in Matthew
No,
7.
who wrote the Gospels?
No, I'm gonna ask you.
No, I want. No, I'm not. I'm going. I'm going.
You can run if you
Who
want.
wrote the
You can run
Gospels?
if you want.
Jesus or his
I know
his
you're scared.
disciples?
Right, let's do this.
No,
Right?
who wrote the
Matthew
Gospels?
7,
Who wrote the Gospels?
That Jesus spoke to a centurion.
What is God to do with Jesus? Jesus wrote the Gospels or his
So if you're gonna
disciples?
say there's
No,
probably Greek, then
your
you've got a problem
disciples
with
wrote the Gospels or Jesus? You tell me now.
Jesus
Who wrote?
inspired the
No, I don't care about that. Who wrote the
don't care what
Gospels?
you care about,
No,
that's
who wrote the Gospels? Jesus or his
Jesus inspired
disciples?
the Gospels.
No, who wrote it?
Jesus inspired the Gospels. I just said it.
Who wrote the Gospels?
Who wrote the Qurans? There's science.
Oh,
There's Yusuf Ali. There's
he said.
Musin Khan.
He said Jesus.
Muhammad.
Okay, you
Bro,
time
what
for me.
Quran
Now
have
you're
you
going
got?
out of topic.
Dude, what Quran
Okay,
have you got?
time for me. Time for me. You time
Quran
for
have you
yourself.
got?
Speak 2 minutes time because you're speaking.
What do you mean I'm
You
not
said.
speaking? Did you hear what I said?
I said. Do you know my point? I was claiming the Gospels.
you're in hot water here,
No,
Siraj.
let me
You
say.
really
Let me
are.
tell you. The Gospel was written
know
in
why you
Greek.
do
Yeah.
that.
No. The Gospel was written in Greek, but in Quran, Allah told us every prophet was sent in his mother language.
Right, his mother
So
language.
therefore,
Why did the Quran quote
Greek
Jesus
is
in
not the
Arabic?
mother language.
Did Jesus speak Arabic?
No, you're not telling. You're
Jesus
not
speak
getting.
Croatian
I never said Jesus speak Arabic.
Then why does the Quran quote Jesus in Arabic?
No, you getting the point.
The
first of all.
Quran quotes Jesus in Arabic.
Can you time for me?
The Quran
Time
quotes-
for me. So time for me. I'll explain to you because he's just speaking.
You're not answering my questions. This is
Okay,
why
do you want me to go?
You're running. You're
Okay,
running.
time.
Bro, you're running.
Chris,
What I'm saying.
come here, please. Time for me and him, please, because he's talking too much.
Don't let him run.
Time us. Yeah, time. Because he's not talking.
Arabic in the Quran. I've asked you a question.
No, time, please. Time for me, Chris. Yes, time for me.
You could time
Because
it.
he's
I'm gonna
talking
ask the
too
same
much.
question. I'm going to ask the same question. It's running from it.
I want to explain to him.
So my question to Siraj is, does Jesus speak Qurayshi Arabic
So
in the Quran?
and then I will speak 2 minutes.
If
Yeah.
that's the case, then he
Yeah.
refutes his own argument. by
Okay,
claiming
I'll
that
speak
Jesus
2 minutes, yeah?
didn't speak Greek.
Okay.
Because Jesus didn't have to, according to his own religion.
I'll speak here. Okay, Chris. Tell me please 2 minutes, yeah?
Okay, go.
Okay, so I'll answer his question. He said, basically he's asking, did Jesus used to speak Arabic? So the answer
No, I
is
didn't say that.
no.
I said, does Jesus speak Arabic in the Quran? You didn't hear what I said.
I'm telling you, I'm answering.
you
So
didn't
2 minutes
answer
to
that.
start
You
again
didn't
because he's disrupting.
No, keep
Okay,
going, bro. Keep
so
going.
let me give him an answer. Jesus, according to Islam, he never spoke Arabic. According to Quran, again, Jesus, Allah told us in chapter 14 verse 4, Allah told us every prophet was sent in his mother language. Therefore, the Bible cannot be the one Allah approved it, because Allah in the Bible, the Gospel Injil was written in the mother language of Jesus.